Alrighty, well, today we're cleaning up the engine parts. It's about the most boring part of the job. I hate doing it, but it's got to be done. And you got to do a good job cleaning stuff up so it doesn't leak when it goes back together. This one's cleaning up. It won't be too bad. First thing I do, if there's any heavier, dirt residue or gaskets still left on the thing, if the gaskets aren't stuck too bad, I just take one of these scrapers and I got 4 sizes of these. This one's like 1 inch or 1.25 inches wide, and they go down to like 3/8 of an inch wide. But anyway, you can go on here and just kind of roll that gasket off of there and get that off. Scrape all the. This thing had a lot of residue like inside the engine, just from years of dirt and everything built up on it. So I'm gonna scrape all that off. And it doesn't have to be perfect when you're scraping that other stuff where the gaskets are. I like a nice shiny surface, and I'll show you how to get that here in a minute. Already did the other side on this piece. You get a front and rear main seal. Well, that rear main seal, I'll show you, those things are kind of goofy on these tractors. The front main seal needs one of them, obviously. And I'll get some, I need a parts washer out here, but I'll get some kerosene or something and wash this all out. That's an oil seal there on our splash guard for the front main seal. It's on the crankshaft. I don't think there's nothing else on the front side of that piece. Got the block cleaned up and the governor housing. This is actually a pretty easy engine to clean up. Let's see. And I guess the gasket's off of this one too. So it won't be hard to polish that up either. Now, you get one of these things, just a kind of rubber puck deal, and they got this little half-turn screw thing in it, and I can put one of these, I call them a Scotch Brite pad. Yeah, I guess that one's got a little life left in it. Yeah, this one's a little bit. I'll put this one away and use this one. Got a couple sizes of these. You can buy these about anywhere, any auto parts store. Rural Kangaroo. One's a Rural Kangaroo, really crappy. I wouldn't buy those. I think that's what these are here. I ought to just throw those things away. These purple ones came from the auto parts or from Napa, I think, and they're a pretty decent one. Problem these green ones are, they're so floppy, they just bend and you can't get any pressure with them to actually remove material and polish. But anyway, that's on there. I first saw these little things. I had just ordered. They just came in my kit with school tools. I got this one and a right angle one. It's a Mac Tools die grinder. And I thought they were just the crappiest little things, because they were so tiny. It just didn't seem like you'd get much out of them. But they are a straight one. I think is 25,000 RPM, no load, and the right angle one's 21,000 or something like that. And I'll tell you, the first time I used it, I could not believe it. You can keep the air volume and pressure to it, they will eat any other die grinder alive. They just get to screaming and do really well. And then I'll go through and wash this stuff off. After, since I scraped it, there's not like big chunks of oil or anything on there, or grease or whatnot, so it'll polish alright. But then after I'm done, I always take a solvent of some sort and wipe them down really good.
This air compressor out here has a hard time keeping up. And when I'm going, the thing's turning like this, I always try to take it just that it's throwing stuff out away from the center of whatever you're working on. It just makes cleaning it up a little easier if it gets it away. This doesn't matter too much because it's so oily and everything, but especially if you're cutting a gasket off or something, let's try to do that. And now the air compressor's having trouble keeping up. If I could keep about 120 psi to this thing all the time, it'd do really well. I have run it on about 180 psi air before, and that's really fun. You can actually get something done then. Let that air compressor pump back up, and I'll come back to you when I get ready to wipe everything down. Already got all the parts cleaned up with the die grinder. Laid the engine over like that just to keep everything from falling down in there. Now it just falls past. But anyway, wipe the oil residue off of it. Got Farmall H carbon choke cleaner, works pretty good. This stuff works just as good as the name brand. And it's a lot cheaper too. Cause I'm buy it 'cause I go through this stuff like candy. I really like the stuff. It's convenient and everything. Paper towels are always the first thing to give up on it. But anyway, that's about it right there. Then maybe just take a dry part of it here and run over it once quick. But anyway, now it's ready for the gasket, and that I guess that's below the plane. It didn't do the best job of milling that off the factory, but whatever. Anyway, the Scotch-Brite pads, scuff it up just enough to where if you want to use silicone, the silicone really sticks good to it, and it'll
pull the gasket in half. Oh, I need to do the bottom of that because oil pan sits on there. But I'll come back to that one. But as you can see, this is a terribly exciting job. And the rags do get dirty quick. And there's another side ready to be put back together. But anyway, you get the gist of what's happening here, so